Glad you're still with us, and welcome if you are just joining us. It's just top of the hour of 8 o'clock, and let's get underway with an overview of Uganda's energy economics. Now, you have to pay attention when we talk about energy economics. We see that our understanding of energy problems as a country, both from the analytical and practical points of view, have improved significantly since the early 1970s. Energy economics has developed from a fledgling discipline to a well-recognized one, and during this period, the process continues to make a valuable contribution to the management of energy problems, especially in developing countries, Uganda in particular. We examine Uganda's energy economics this morning with Anthony Dan Busiika. He's an environmental scholar and energy economist. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Great. Now, energy economics might sound alien to anybody, especially those that know economics. But bring us up to speed with where we are as a country, especially given the overview that I've just given here that has hope infused into it that we are continuing to craft valuable interventions that improve our very own situation.
Thank you, Chris. So I will try to summarize this in a layman's view. But
I understand you're a teacher.
You're not only a teacher, I'm more of an expert in this field.
Okay.
So I'm going to take a helicopter view. We call it a helicopter view.
Please,
like
please.
To just be up and then, you see.
No doubt.
I will just use some numbers so that people understand what it means. So when we talk about energy, everything you have in your house, people watching us, what you cook with is all energy. So I'm just going to say a few numbers so that you know the next challenge for the coming 2026 and until there.
That's right.
So we use 6.5 million liters of fuel per day, and our reserves or storage is around 70 million liters, and government is working to increase it to 170. So that means that we have less than 15 days in case of anything happens out there. And you know we are a landlocked country, so we are 100% dependent on fuel. Unlike what happened in 2019, whereby COVID-19 people had food, this will be very impossible, whereby even if government wants to implement, if we don't have enough storage, because we are a landlocked country, so it means we need to be energy sufficient and energy not dependent on anyone.
Not dependent.
So then it also cuts across how our food is processed. Like look at, we have 16 million kids in school. They are all, 90% of them, of their schools are using like forests, like firewood. Yeah. Which has significantly, not only the institutions, but the whole public. So now, if you are to look at the policies we have, we are pursuing policies that are going to affect the prices of energy, because if you increase taxes, right now the taxes are around 30%, like 1,500 per liter of fuel. So the members of parliament that we need should be able to help us to cut that down. So much as we might not be able to change a lot, but at least we should get a member of parliament who understands the economics of this. Because if the fuel is cheaper, a borderman gets more range of fuel.
That is right.
Food comes from Barara to here.
A little faster.
Yes, a little faster. Then also we make it so easy that we also have to tie it with electricity. Because since one of the things that have been tough for African nations is that we are not lacking potential. We just have to unlock it. Look at where development or GDP has rose up. If you track data, like historical data, in the last 25 years, it has the GDP has went up around 5 points every time we increase a megawatt of generation.
That's right.
Then the issue that comes later, that generation and access to electricity has increased in the past 25 years. However, access is not the same as connectivity, like being connected. So the increase of access is primarily because people have shifted from villages to the
urban
city.
centers, yeah.
So which leads to the ripple effects that come with that. People wouldn't be moving from Ntungamo to Kampala, who would be in Ntungamo like doing their work and processing milk and all of that, if they had electricity in their villages, which was cheap and affordable for them, then they wouldn't need to come to Kampala.
Right.
So energy is very complex and wide that the current economic or global system is attaching it to politics, and that is where we're making a mistake. So our members of parliament that we are trying to get into power next the coming years is that they should focus on how, because a normal person down there in Ntungamo, someone not only in Ntungamo, in Karamoja, they all need to move, or whatever they eat is moved. So that means it affects every corner of your life. So I understand that we have a refinery coming up, but then the refinery should play a nationalistic ideal. So that means we have to increase like electricity generation, which we use HFO on a grid mix now is like HFO is like 7%. But remember, we still have a problem with energy. We are broke.
HFO being, please?
Yeah, it is heavy fuel.
Heavy fuel.
Fuel oil. So that's like next to crude oil. When they when they refine oil, they get crude oil. Then after refining, they get diesel, jet fuel, and all of that. Then the heaviest is HFO. So we have a plant that is working in Moroto in Uganda here. I've ever visited that plant. It's also using HFO. So even our electric grid mix, 7% of it is generated by HFO. So if we can increase that, much as it might be, because we have a constraint on the rivers, we cannot generate any more electricity. Yet the trajectory of the economy in relation to agro-processing, it's going to take a huge investment. So we might risk an economic crash. I don't know if you've ever known an economic crash. It means like a city like Kampala can be like Mogadishu in not more than 1 year because of lack of fuel. Simple. Lack of what to cook with.
Interesting there. So those are enormous challenges that we must pay very keen attention to as a country, especially in line with the global transition to sustainable energy sources. And now you're talking about the refinery and its ability, if it rolls out as well as it is touted, its ability to improve high investment, upfront investments that will allow for more options for us to be able, that significantly will lower the cost of fuel. But
not only the cost, it's also security. Remember, we are a landlocked country, so our fuel comes from
our energy security will be highly cushioned. But within the rollout of the various government interventions, how is the sector aligning itself for that transformation and reality?
So,
because we have people who are increasingly using gas to cook, and they want to use gas actually. Many of us want to quickly transition from these crude fuels. But the pace, the cost, access, reliability, that is down to aspects including grid modernization. We could have all these fuels coming through, but when the grid is not modernized enough for us to be able to access them. What is happening within the sector?
Actually, I think what is going on within this sector, the biggest risk we run right now is not of electricity, because even when we are generating now, we are also supplying to Kenya, which Kenya generates more than us, by the way, but we supply them electricity. So we also supply Rwanda.
Within the context of energy economics, we can supply even when we have less.
That means that you're going to hike the prices of your people. So the main point is how members of parliament and the next administration cut down the costs of both electricity and fuel. So that's why it's important for them to understand the equation of energy, because whoever it is, if we only have a reserve of 30 days, it's not enough. Uganda, like we said, is not a landlocked country. Since 2019, we've been into chaos after chaos. So that means we have to take lessons we learned from then, that now if it becomes an energy problem, we need to have enough fuel until the refinery comes up, because it's coming 28. And these wars are like, if you see, there's this coming up, this one coming up, it's like crazy.
Even before you emerge from one, another comes
another one is coming
you have
up.
to deal with a different reality altogether.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where it compromises everything. That you cannot only concentrate on you have to play a game of inside and outside, you get? So that's where the issue is, that right now, the parliamentarians who would have helped us, because most of Ugandans are not looking for government to give them jobs, they just want to access places to move their products from one place to another cheaply. So even given that our exports, we export to our neighboring countries mostly by volume and by weight, compared to what is going to Europe or other civilized countries, or not civilized, like modernized countries. So then it means that we need a lot of fuel to be able to advance even agriculture. We are tired of seeing our grandmothers digging with hoes. It's time to bring tractors on, and that's energy.
That's energy.
So this is more of an something that needs to come from up. All institutions work together, especially when you have NFA, NEMA, then you have KCCA, then you have all these organizations should have targets in relation to reserves and prices of energy and accessibility. Because the main point of an economic boom is always attracting foreign direct investments. There's no foreign direct investments that will come to Uganda when the cost of electricity is the same as the cost per kilowatt hour. It's the same as the cost of a kilowatt hour in Finland, which generates 20 times the amount of electricity we have. So by their standards, they are cheap. But by our standards here that we want to do agro-processing, it's so high. So we need to like push it down.
Push it down?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Now that's all lies down to the potential. I'm glad you speak about the fact that our grandmothers and those that dwell in the upcountry homes must not be digging. That is something that is poignant. I hope the policymakers are watching. But in terms of balancing the pursuit of economic growth with the need for environmental preservation, as well as sustainable resource management, these are our fundamental challenges today. We, for example, grapple on how to transition into what the West is telling us, yet its industrialization agenda still relies heavily
Now you get my point.
So, on what they are trying to tell us not to do.
Yes. So this is where I take a hard line. I always tell these people that our international policy or our foreign policy should be a hardliner on energy. Because there's no country in Europe that does not have a power plant. There are very few. You get even a country of 5 million people is generating like 1.8 gigawatts of electricity, a combination that cannot be reached by all 7 East African countries, even if we combined all we generate. But they are a population of 5 million people.
Luxembourg.
Yes, all those Luxembourg and all of that. But Finland itself, one country, 5 million people, generates electricity that is enough to power almost 9 to 15 African nations. So this is something that is there. Because remember, me and you studied on candles in primary school. You remember? You remember how you used to go to winter? So now these kids do not understand it. But now you are happy that your kids can be able to study in these conditions.
That is right.
Because we have electricity. Now, if you want your kids to not lose jobs, or for you not to lose jobs, you have to make sure that you distribute electricity from the current rate of 29% connectivity and increase it at least to 60%. So that means that someone in my village or someone in the north can open up a poultry farm.
That's right, yeah.
So if you open up a poultry farm, that means if it is cheaper for you to use tractors, you'll grow feeds for your animals. So it has a ripple effect. But the people who are managing the policies need to know how to evaluate the key performance indicators of evaluating their policy and what they achieve on economic transformation.
That is right. Allow me just concentrate a little bit more on energy policy and how it aligns itself with the readily available options, for example, solar It is intermittent.
Yes.
It's not something that is widely used, but it can be taken on. I see in many villages solar panels that have been adopted, including within the frameworks of SACCOs.
Yes.
This is something that requires significant effort on the part of government.
Okay.
I don't know whether as an actor within that space, the conversation is on about improving energy storage solutions so that we can actually have like energy banks, so to speak.
So for solar, I will disappoint some people. Solar is not Uganda's problem. We've been with solar since the 2000s.
Yeah.
So the issue is that you cannot cook on solar. You cannot run any machine on solar. You get what I'm trying to establish?
That is right.
That its efficiency is between 15 to 22%. And it has a capacity of 15 to 22%. So it only captures 22% of the sun. Then of the 22%, only 22%
of what has been captured
can be efficiently used. So if we compare with wind, it is 35. The capacity, the efficiency capacity is 25, 35. Much better than solar. But remember, we don't have the resources of wind, so we don't have many winds or too much strong winds to allow us.
The windmills.
However, the solution
we don't have sufficient strong winds.
Yes, we don't have.
In Uganda?
Yes, we don't have.
Amazing.
Because it requires a certain operational time. So it has to reach a capacity rate of at least 65%. So 65% of every year it has to be working. If it is if your winds cannot generate that, then it means you're going to make a loss. Then that makes us reliant on other countries technologically. So you get the technology from Germany, so it will be Hegstas and Vestas, German companies that maintain. That will come in. And that's a cost. But let's look at nuclear. You see what it is. Nuclear has an efficiency of 33%, a capacity of 90%. So 33% of what is generated, 90% can be recovered. Then if we go to cost per kilowatt hour over time, 0.033, that's like 1,500 cents per kilowatt hour of solar. Then $0.22 per kilowatt hour of wind, so it's much cheaper. Then nuclear is 0.19 per dollars per kilowatt hour, which it makes better in a 50 years return time. The other ones have 50 years. The other ones have a problem with efficiency and capacity generations. In terms of like if it is at night, you don't expect solar. So won't you run a machine on night shifts? If there's no wind, you cannot charge your...
Anthony, I'm afraid we're going to have to wrap this up. But my very last question, help us understand how the nuclear agenda, we have a program that government is rolling out, including the fact that land has been identified in Buyende district, some sites in Nakasongola for nuclear power plants. How does this fit into our aspirations? Very quickly.
So it fits in that it will solve poverty more than politics. It's more important that it will solve poverty more than politics.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anthony Dan Busiika, energy economist and environment scholar. We are emboldened by your perspective and insight into energy economics and the mix that Uganda finds itself in. Stay with us.
Thank you.
Morning at NTV.